Agric Minister Brian Champon says the ministry's preliminary assessment reveals massive destruction of farm crops in 8 regions following the onset of dry spell. The prolonged lack of rain has left farms parched and crops withered. Some farmers in the northern region say they are struggling to salvage their dwindling harvest. There's more.
In the northern region are counting their losses already following the dry spell that has hit the area. Farmers who plowed earlier around July have had to uproot their maize, waiting to replant or watch their plants wither. The situation has affected especially smallholder farmers.
Right behind me is a maize farm. To my right is an okra farm. The plants here are withering. They haven't had rains, therefore they're drying up. This has been the state in the northern region. Several acres of farmlands are drying up because there are no rains.
Jesli Namasi is a smallholder farmer. He spent about $7,000 on his 5-acre farm, but fears there will be nothing to harvest.
It really is pathetic because after the tractor came to plow and I put the condemn, then I saw just a slight rain came and the maize started germinating, and since then we didn't receive any rain anymore.
So, Mr. Gislin is just showing me his okra farm. Each year, he harvests the okra, sells to the public, and feed his family. It doesn't look like he's going to get any harvest this year.
The Muslim community in the northern region last week held prayers to appeal to God for God's intervention. But what do experts think about the occurrence?
The rainy season is almost ending, like you rightly said. So we stand to face a challenge of food shortage or insecurity somewhere next year.
The news team visited the Picona market to assess prices of yam, considering that it's in season, but the prices have doubled.
The drought has actually impacted negatively on the yam business. Last year, we were selling the smaller size at 20 Ghana cedis, and the next to it was 30 Ghana cedis and 50 Ghana cedis. But because of the drought this season, the prices ranges from 50 cedis and above.
For many farmers in the northern region, it will take a miracle from God to turn things around. They believe that there will be shortage of food in the region. For Joy News, Martina Bugri reporting.
While in seeking solutions, some Muslim community in the Bono East region has been holding prayer sessions for the rains. They want God to intervene as they are hoping that He would bring some relief to their farms and ensure a bountiful harvest.
Since the beginning of July, there wasn't any rain here. So we decided to follow the footsteps of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We also did that to practice the sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are repenting to him. We are giving all our issues to him, that he should have mercy on us. He should give us a rain. The effect here is very hard because all the farmers, most of them, their goods has been destroyed. And anytime that once it is not raining in November, I don't think maize can do with only 2 months of rain. So we are begging so that God will bring the rain. Allah will bring us the rain now.
Well, we know that the Agric Minister has been touring some of the affected areas. He has been assuring that government will soon roll out measures to cushion farmers.
We received weekly reports on the state of the dry spell in the northern regions. Before the farming season began, the meteorological agency informed us of the onset of the dry spell, but we didn't anticipate it would last this long or impact crop production to this extent. In Bono East, Bono, Oti, and the 5 northern regions, farmers' crops have been destroyed. As a ministry, we must intervene and assist the farmers who lost their crops due to the dry spell.
Well, senior meteorologist at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Joshua Asamoah, speaks on climate change, and she joins us right now with more. We also have the General Secretary of the Ghana Agric Workers Union, Edward Karawe, and he joins us with more as well here on News Desk. Joshua Asamoah, thank you for your time. Now, this is a broader concern we have. We are experiencing this as a result of climate change. This dry spell, should we be worried?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. We cannot say emphatically that this is because of climate change, climate variability farming, because dry spells have actually been with us for some time now. And that's not the worst case that we've seen in the country. We have actually been seeing these conditions happening. And like you heard in the report, this is something that was predicted earlier, especially for places within the northern region, the savannah region, transition zones. We're expecting long dry spells within these areas and below normal to normal rainfall for the season. So it's not something that actually came as a surprise.
This is not the worst we've experienced, so we should be calm.
Can you repeat the question? I didn't really hear you.
So should we be calm?
Actually, yes. We have started seeing some cases of rainfall within the northern sector in the last 2 days. Quite substantial amounts of rains were experienced in the northern region and parts of the savannah region as well. The upper east and upper west regions are already experiencing rains, and we anticipate that, all things being equal, then coming weeks will be getting widespread cases of rainfall within the northern sector.
But how long will this take to impact on harvest? Because the report we just heard, farmers are complaining that they're already recording low yields as a result, and the bigger concern is that this could affect food security moving forward.
Well, I think most of them may not be able to salvage the losses that they have already incurred, because the rains at this time may not be able to salvage the crop due to the stage that they are at the moment. But for people who would want to get rainfall to sort of help in their farming, if they are already into irrigation and they want to cut the losses that they are getting from irrigation, then obviously this one will come as a boost for them, because we are going to get enough rainfall. So you will stop with the irrigation that you're already doing. But for those who did not go into irrigation and were relying solely on rainfall, then the losses may already have occurred and they may not have enough chances to survive the effect that they're already experiencing.
Because you are GMET, walk us through the weather pattern we should experience now moving forward, since you are laying fears that this could actually have a broader impact on harvest.
Well, sure. So like I said earlier, this is more of a meteorological drought, and even that the intensity is not that severe. It's the mild to moderate intensity. And like I said, we'll start getting rainfall in the northern sector in the coming weeks. And so for August, we can say that we'll be out of the dry spells that we are seeing. We're getting rainfall occurrences within that month. Or continuing to September, hopefully within the week or latest next week, we should get the updates of the rainfall season, for the seasonal forecast for the northern sector, and then the minor rainfall season for the southern portions of the country, which will spell out the exact times that we expect the rains to cease, the time that we expect the minor rainfall season for southern Ghana to also start, and when it will cease, so that people who are in the south who also want to go into farming will know how to go about their farming activities for the minor rainfall season, the kind of crops they should go in for. But if people actually saw the information and paid heed to the seasonal forecast that was issued somewhere in May, we would have gone for drought tolerant seeds and then seeds that mature in short durations due to the conditions that we were expecting. And then
Let me bring in Edward. I'm losing connection to you. Joshua, you have to position rightly. We'll come back to you as you wrap that up for us. But then I'll bring in Edward at this point because he's General Secretary of the Ghana Agric Workers Union. They are raising concerns about the impact of this dry spell on their farmers. Thank you for your time here on Newsdesk. Paint a picture for me. What's happening on the grounds?
Yeah, good morning. And let me make some correction. I'm now the former General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union.
Okay.
Yeah.
Point noted. Thank you very much for that correction. Please make a point.
Yeah, the experience is quite unpleasant for farmers. And if you're a farmer and you watch your investment go to the drain, your cost of production, cost of plowing, your seed, even labor that you have employed on the farm, all have gone to the waste because of drought. Some of the crops, as we are aware, cannot be recovered at all. There's no amount of rain that will come today that can bring them back to life. Apart from that, crops also have stages in growth. So beyond a certain stage, no matter how much inputs you put there, you cannot change their fortunes. So you may see them not dead. You can apply the inputs, but then it will not make any significant impact on them. Because they have grown beyond a certain age. So this is the reality on the ground. The question about whether this drought will continue, the answer is no. It will not continue. The rains have started coming, and given the period that we are now, we are supposed to have heavy rainfalls. Now, what we are not certain is this. If we get heavy rainfall, which will also go further to destroy the crops that are left, then we will now be experiencing a double jeopardy, for the farmers. Here is the case, drought has come to destroy your farms. The few farms that have survived the drought or crops that have survived the drought, then the rainfall could come in such a way that it can cause flooding and wash away some of those crops again. So this is what we are likely to experience. And you can see that the Bakri Dam, which we know is no more a disaster, is predictable. We know when it will come, and it's coming around this time every year, which is also causing its own destruction. And so from August to September, unless something unexpected happens, we are supposed to have heavy rains, and those rains could be said that they may even destroy the farms that are left.
Now, moving forward, how do you recommend we deal with issues like this, such that the impact on the average farmer is reduced?
Hello?
Edward, I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm saying moving forward, how do you recommend we deal with this as a country so that the impact on the average farmer is reduced?
Well, this is normal. We knew that we cannot control the rains. They come when they want to come. We could only predict when they will come. But as a country moving forward and seeking to grow our agriculture, we cannot solely depend on rain-fed agriculture, because there's some part of the year the rains will not come at all. Yet we think that we must have agriculture. We must crop. So we started building irrigation. So there's no better solution than to have more water, or increase our irrigation agriculture to mitigate things like this. Look, you can imagine what would have been the situation today if the Colombo multipurpose dam had been in operation. It would have gone a long way to mitigate the situation. When you have nature coming on you like this, you don't expect to recover everything, but you try to mitigate as much as possible. And irrigation agriculture, apart from rainfall or droughts like this or disasters, it is also to help us crop when the rains are not there. And we know that if you take the northern part of the country, a large part of the year is without rain. So population is going up, demand for agricultural produce is going up. We are building one village, one district, one factory, whose raw materials are coming from agriculture. So it demands on us to increase agricultural production. First, to meet the population demands, consumption demands, which is growing up, and then also industrial need. But we also even want to export it. So if you put these three things together, increased population, that puts pressure on food stocks. Industrialization, that puts more demand on agricultural produce as raw materials. And then our quest to export to earn more revenue exchange for our country certainly requires that we increase our agricultural production. And how do we do that? We can do that by increasing irrigation agriculture. But unfortunately, the efforts we have made so far, the one village, one dam, has not been able to help us much. And then, unfortunately, again, the Polvo multipurpose dam, which would have given us a relief, has not even started. So this is what we need to do going into the future. And also now, there's climate change right here with all of us. Even ordinary people who do not understand climate change can experience it. It is like the wind. You don't see the wind. But when the wind blows, you experience it. So climate change is here with all of us. So Ghana has no choice than to increase irrigation agriculture. And this is the future for agriculture for Ghana.
Thank you for your time here on News 6. We've been also speaking to Joshua Asamoah. He is from GMET. He is allaying fears that the situation could actually become worse. And you just heard Joshua. He is sharing his thoughts about how governments can, moving forward, deal with the issue of climate change and this dry spell. He's proposing that we invest in irrigation facilities.